Nula's here. What's up? Oh, my mom and dad are here. Okay, that's really exciting. Mom and Papa G. Meg Jakowski, Belinda. Hi, Belinda. Gabby Port. Kay. Hey, Kay. Alyssa Calorio. Holly Rice. Jen McHugh. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Alasia. Woo! Okay. Lucy. Mariah. Hi, Holly. Okay, you guys, I'm really overwhelmed. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Last week, well, first of all, there are some people I think that may end up watching this if I save this video correctly, unlike last week. So I'm Mary Giattino, and I am the grateful owner of Stage Door School of Dance, and I am also human. And I say that because I need to remind myself that sometimes. And I think it's important for you to remember that not only am I just human, but your teachers are human, you're human, your parents are human, all of us, even Mom and Papa G, we're all human. And that means that we're not perfect. And that means that sometimes we start feeling feelings that feel strange, and that feel like maybe they're not right, or maybe they are uncomfortable, and we're not smiling, and we're not just happy, and we're not just what seems to be perfect. So let's just be human together right now for this discussion, and let's try and connect into our feelings. Last week we checked in on our feelings, and that was really wonderful. It was so great to connect with you in that way. And I'm not going to lie, it was very hard for me to do. Speaking of being human, and as I sort of mentioned earlier, I'm the principal of a school. I'm a dance teacher. I am someone that wants to bring you all of the perfect sides of myself. And this social media game is really new for me. It's really hard. It's really wonderful, but it's a vulnerable place and platform. And I think that, I'm really pushing myself, and I know a lot of you guys are as well. I see a lot of you posting self-choreography, and it's making me, I'm so happy to see. And I'm so happy to hear from some of you about how you're feeling, and that's sort of driving what my discussions will be each week. So right now, I want to focus on two things. I want to address some stuff that I've been having trouble with, and it's mindfulness and motivation. And so I first want to see if any of you can relate. So, all right, get ready to type in. What is mindfulness? In your very own words, for your definition, let me know, and I'm going to read some out. So let me know what you think mindfulness even is. What does that mean? People are waving. All right, write in, guys, some of you. And if you don't know, that's okay. Just let me know what your instinct thinks. When you hear the word, I'll give you a hint, the word mindfulness. So there's an important word there. Oh, my mom. I love you, Mama G. She says focus. Sydney says being calm and connected. Abby is saying being aware of what bothers you and what motivates you always. Mr. Michael's here listening to our inner voice. Being present, says Miss Nula. My niece Courtney Giattino says being in touch with yourself. Okay, these are really great. You guys, being kind. Yes, thank you. Holly, and it's being kind to ourselves. So I try to practice mindfulness. I am just a mere student, but I thought I would actually read out my definition that I have today. So mindfulness is a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment, while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. Woo! All right. So, in order to really understand what mindfulness, it just is, being fully present and completely aware of where you are and what you're feeling. And here's what I want you to know, friends. It is okay to not be feeling great. It is okay to be feeling, anything you are feeling right now. Mindfulness is just a time and a technique where we can just, come into ourselves and just take note of how we're feeling, how we feel each day, how we feel each moment. And how do we note that, breathe into that, take some breaths, and then continue on. So it's really a collection of all of those thoughts that are happening and just saying, it's okay, it's cool. It may not feel good and I may feel really uncomfortable right now because I'm being mindful of how I feel, but I'm being honest. And I want you to know that, when I check in with myself, at times I'm trying to practice mindfulness and I get really uncomfortable with how I feel and what thoughts are coming through my head. And that is normal and that's okay. So let me know if you are feeling, if you can agree, if you understand what I'm saying here. What are some ways that you think you can practice mindfulness in a, like in a day like today? So what are things that you can do, and what are ways where you can remain mindful today? So if you have any thoughts on that, you can let us know. Lots of people are just like, you guys are the best. I love you. Lots of thumbs up. Yes, I agree. Miss Nula, very uncomfortable sometimes. Yes. Holly Rice, she likes to do yoga. Oh, Abby likes to light some candles and open the windows. Miss Stephanie Patako is enjoying journaling when she's feeling mindful. Megan Jakowski, same thing, keeping a journal and writing down your feelings. Michael, meditation. Yes. Yoga, stretching. Okay, you guys are seriously, you're nailing it right now. So that leads me to, where we're headed here, which is motivation. And here's the hard part. Who's struggling feeling motivated? Anyone? Was I sweating? Okay, no. It looked like I was sweating. That was going to be really embarrassing. Motivation is really tough. I don't know. I want to know, is anyone feeling like when they wake up, they're not wanting to do schoolwork or chores or take an online dance class? Let me know. Lots of hands are coming up. Okay, so here's the real truth, and this is the honest place of where I'm at and what I want you to know. It is okay. It is really, really okay. The other day I woke up and I was feeling depressed. I was feeling depressed and I was feeling like I was stuck. I felt like I could not get out of my bed. That's anxiety. That's depression. And I want you to know that I say that's okay. I had a day. I've had more than one day, but I'm giving you a specific day. I knew that the other day I needed and had in my mind that I wanted to make up another tap class to teach you guys. And I had time to do it. So it wasn't like I had to do it that day, but that was the day that I'd set in my head, I'm going to work on my tap class. And I felt down in the dumps. I kept putting it off, kept doing other things, occupying my time, really knowing that what I needed to do was what I was not even starting to begin working on. And so that throughout the day started making me feel worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And finally it got to the point where I was like, okay, Mary, shake it off. It's time to do something. It's time to do that project that you said you were going to work on today. So I start working and I had nothing. Nothing came to me, not one step. I tried an hour, continuing on within the hour. Anything I started making up felt terrible. I hated everything. I hated everything I was making up. I was feeling worse and worse and worse about myself. I started feeling completely stuck. I was getting scared. I was getting anxious. And I finally got to the point where I was done. And I realized, I took some breaths and I said, today is not the day. Today is not the day, even though I had planned today to be the day to do this, chore or activity. I shouldn't say chore, but that's how it felt that day. It felt like a chore. And normally it doesn't feel like a chore. It feels really beautiful and fun and creative. But when you're feeling depressed and you're feeling unmotivated, it's really hard to even be creative. So that's what I wanted to share with you about that example. How did I get through that? Here's how I did it, and I'm going to want to hear from you. I ended up just putting it to the side and saying, today is not the day. Cooked dinner, ate dinner, did a Zoom with some friends that night. And I knew, and I honestly couldn't wait to go to sleep because I knew, because I've been here before, that once I go to sleep, I'm able to hit the reset button. I have another chance, another opportunity to maybe get it right the next day while being kind to myself. So in taking some breaths and putting that project aside and saying, it's okay, Mary, today was not your day. Maybe tomorrow will be different. In fact, I hope tomorrow will be different. I'm going to do everything I can for tomorrow to be different. So there's something for me when the sun comes up, it really feels like a fresh new start. And I ended up having a much better day that next day. And that leads me to my next question. I want to know, motivation, is like a switch inside of ourselves that turns on and turns off. Oh, lots of people are agreeing and sending love. Thank you. When we know we have to do something and we need to get it done, it's something we have to search inside for ourselves to find that motivation. So I want to know, what are you doing to find some motivation right now? How are you getting things done? I will start with myself. I know that if I can wake up, start with a shower, eat some breakfast, go on a little walk with Betty, come back, get in some office hours, have my schedule of everything I want to get done that day, write it down. I have a pretty good chance of having a successful day during this pandemic. Writing everything down on a piece of paper is really helpful for me. I like to make my list the night before, and then I go to sleep knowing what I'm going to work on. Does it always happen? No, I just gave you an example of a day where none of that happened because I started my day off the wrong way, and that was not showering. So that's something for me. What are some things? Abby, I love talking with friends. I find that sharing my feelings with my friends absolutely puts me into perspective. That's amazing. Michael, still setting my alarm in the morning. That's huge. I think that's really important. I, for myself, am still waking up before my alarm, and I think that's my anxiety, which I've been working on. Okay, Gabby, I've been doing yoga in the morning when I wake up, and I start every day with a to-do list. I check things off as I go, and it helps me feel like I'm accomplishing. Yes. Girl, we're on the same page there. And last one, Miss Stephanie Patako, morning shower and fresh air has been a great way to start my day. Yeah, so you guys are on the right track. It's so good and comforting to hear what you're doing and to know that I'm not alone. And I want you to know, which is why I'm saying this, is that you're not alone. If there's a day where you're able to check everything off the checklist, that's amazing. And you want to know something? The next day, if you wake up and you don't get that morning shower in and you don't get in, that routine doesn't start on the right foot, and you don't want to take an online dance class, that's okay too. It's all okay. As long as you're being mindful of where you're at, you'll find that motivation the next day. But don't get yourself in such a rut that because you couldn't get the thing done you thought you were going to get done because you're sad or you're angry, you're frustrated. I'm giving the negative feelings. There's a lot of positive as well that are going on right now at this time. But I just thought it was important to talk about this. So, few things. Victoria, opening my window, letting in some fresh air, making my bed, not staying in PJs. Girl, that's the truth. Holly, I'm always so excited when I wake up I'm always excited when I wake up for the end of the day, when I talk to my friends about my feelings to my family and friends. Oh, that's nice. Yes, girl. Yeah. So these are really all great tips. And I think it's important to, know that we're all in this together. And I just want to share something. I want to share something personal a little bit. Oh, Miss Nuala, forgive yourself and tell yourself it's okay. It sure is. I want to share something that is pretty vulnerable. It's just that I know it's going to be okay, because I personally have been in this place before, and it didn't affect the whole world in this way, which makes it not as bad. And people all over the place weren't going through what I was going through, which in a way is better. But, when Ricky, my late husband, passed away 3.5 years ago, I felt a lot of these feelings, and I felt very stuck. I felt very depressed. I felt like it was never going to end, like my life would never be better again. I would never smile again. I could never enjoy dance again. I could never choreograph again. I could never feel the same way when I see my friends again. And I want you to know that it gets better. It does get better. And I bring that up only because right now, for a lot of you kids, this is the worst thing, and it's a horrific experience that we're all going through together. It's unprecedented times. I mean, we have never experienced this, anything like it, and hopefully never will again. But for a lot of you kids and teens, it feels like, well, it's never going to go back to normal. And I am here to tell you that it is going to go back to normal. It'll be slightly different. And you want to know why it's going to be different? We are going to be more grateful than ever, more motivated than ever, more creative than ever, more appreciative of just going to the store and buying something and not being afraid that we touched a milk carton. We're going to come back from this, and it is going to be okay. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. It's going to be all of these emotions, all of these feelings. But right now, we're so focused on staying home, staying safe, washing our hands, the fears, the anxieties, doing our schoolwork, teaching ourselves school, learning dance online. It feels like it's not ever going to end, but I promise you, I have been through something that felt big like this, and it does. It gets better. It gets better because we get more mindful, and we really have to slow down, and we're not as busy as we used to be. And that's why those days of being mindful and maybe being unshowered and stuck are good sometimes to have those days, because we can process what's happening. We can connect with our own thoughts, whether they feel good or not. They're our thoughts, so they're valued, and they're important. So those days are important so that we can enjoy and keep motivating on for the next days to come. So I want to know if anyone has any questions of any kind about this topic. I hope you have a better understanding of what it means to be mindful, to be accepting of exactly where you are in this moment, to note it, breathe into it, take 2, 3, 4 breaths, and just go, that's how I feel. And I'm not going to get mad about it. It's how I feel, and maybe in a few minutes or a few days, I'm going to feel differently, and that feeling will feel better inside. And I just want you guys to know that if you're feeling like you're struggling right now, please reach out to each other. Please reach out to your dance friends. Please reach out to us as teachers. Please reach out to anyone in your family, a mentor. You don't have to put a show on, and you also don't have to pretend. And we're all in this together. So I love you. I want you to just be kind to yourself and love yourself. I love you. Stay active, stay calm, stay strong, and let's continue on this mindful path, and let's continue to find some motivation. And when you're not feeling it, just know that's okay. All right, everyone. You guys are so cool. Love and miss you all so much too. Lots of love going on here. I'm going to end this and tune in next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but something new is going to come. And I bet we're all going to be feeling it at the same time. So I love you. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Mwah. Okay, let me learn how to turn this off the right way now.